joining me today. My name is Jessica, and I am excited to offer some tips and life hacks in the realm of time management. We are tackling this topic to support your productivity, peace of mind, and competitive advantage in your life, your career, and growing your business. Do you ever feel like there's not enough time in the day? Do you get frustrated for forgetting details, looking unprepared, or constantly rushing out the door to start your busy morning? We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it. We are going to cover 4 aspects of time management: the symptoms, root issues, solutions, and tools and strategies. This is part 1 of a series of information, so we are going to cover the foundation of what you need to know to get started, when to move to the next level, and the most effective strategies. Stay with me and we will dive deeper with part 2. But for now, this is what you absolutely need to know, and it will be useful regardless of your current knowledge. I want you to take a look at the symptom list. Read each bullet point and be honest with yourself if it describes you. Now, let's face it, no one will know if you are being honest except for you, so I highly recommend a reality check. Only you truly know what is going on behind the scenes of your life. You may pause this video to do this. Next, take a look at the results list. Again, go through each bullet point and know that this is the vision and the goal with strengthening your time management skills. This is what it can do for you. It is achievable, and yes, you are capable, I promise. Let's compare what other people are doing to understand what works and what doesn't work. 18% of people, that is 1 out of every 5 people, have a dedicated time management system. The opposition is 82%. 4 out of 5 people don't have a dedicated system. That means if you instill these new habits, even the easy, simple ones that we are going to talk about, it will set you apart from your colleagues, your friends, and your competitors. Your friends will appreciate it, your boss will give you a promotion, and your customers will leave you ranting reviews and buy more services and products from you. So, how does everyone else handle their time? Take a look at this graph. The most popular strategy is to create and maintain a to-do list. In fact, this is the easiest and most effective way to start controlling your time. But did you know there are strategies to help you prioritize, delegate, and organize that list? That's in part 2. So let's move on. The next most popular strategy that most people do is tackle tasks based on whatever seems most important. They don't really think about a strategy at all. They shift their attention based on what seems important. The only problem with this is it's easy to lose track of what's important over the long term, as opposed to the short term or simply what's gratifying in the current moment. Some people will use their email inbox that comes with their browser or work email, and I guess this is better than nothing. Some people will write it down in a journal or diary. Again, it's better than nothing, but I will say to be careful of falling into the trap of having multiple to-do lists and tools, because then it's defeating the purpose. The next question is, have you ever done a time audit? A time audit is a written track record of what you do during the day. It's performed over a period of several days, weeks, or months so that you can get a better idea of how you are spending your time. The key is to do it consistently for however much time seems appropriate to your goal. This way, you can examine and analyze how you actually spend your time versus how you want to spend your time. The majority of people have never performed a time audit, so they don't know. They have no data to really know what's going on with their habits, attention, or progress. Technology and social media have put even more demand on our attention than our brain can handle. We are not designed to be interrupted as much as we are throughout the day. In fact, it's damaging our sense of focus, which is like a muscle. If you take a look at this graph, most people either check their email constantly or once an hour. This is for two reasons: boredom or the fear of missing out on something. The typical human being, if he or she isn't sure what to work on because they just tackle whatever comes their way, remember? Then they check their email and look for something that seems important. Or maybe they are so overwhelmed, they are afraid to miss an important detail, so they become obsessed with incoming messages, alerts, or notifications. I don't know about you both, or I don't know about either of these scenarios because both can feel horrible. I don't know if you can relate. I definitely can. Okay, so let's talk about why these issues even exist. I have to admit, this is where most of my research was spent to design this presentation. I really wanted to understand what was going on beneath the surface to explain why all of us struggle with it. I could talk about this one for hours and hours, but for the sake of your busy life, I will summarize it for you. And honestly, to perform better, there are a few harsh realities. It's challenging to admit it to yourself, at least it was for me. Looking at yourself objectively and embracing reality rather than lying or pretending in a fantasy will always yield better results. If you are committed, or at least curious, let's dive in. Just so you know, once you admit it, you can't unsee it. And then you have a decision. Do something about it, or keep doing what you were doing before. And if you keep doing what you were doing before, nothing's going to change. Scary, isn't it? Ha! Let's go. Take a look at this list. You are welcome to pause the video if you need a moment. These are not in any particular order, but they branch off from the following. The number one root issue is your ego. When you don't consider others, whether it's intentional or not, it destroys your likability, credibility, and authority. Number two is a bit of the opposite from the ego. It's not having healthy boundaries and letting people waste your time. They may not be doing it intentionally. They may be focused on their own goals and agenda. Or maybe they have poor time management skills. Number three is low self-esteem. Sometimes we avoid attention, more responsibility, or learning better time management because we don't think we are capable of great things. It's easier to be off the radar, or we are scared of failing, or even succeeding. More responsibilities mean there are more potential ways to fail or create a life you don't know how to manage. When we grow, it can cause friction from the things that make us comfortable. When we grow, it invites feedback or mistakes. But a lot of good things also come from growth too. So to help you in this realm, I wanted to share some inspiring time management masters and their most powerful quotes that have helped me see myself in a new light and build better time management. It is my hope that these might inspire you to reach for more in life. Ray Dalio. His book called Principles became my obsession. The book shares his success as a businessman, his journey to self-actualization, and his step-by-step strategies on how to create goals, fix inputs for better outputs, and how to work better with people. The strategies are listed in the book as an outline, and each bullet point plainly describes what to do, which is what I loved about this book. I took it seriously, and each one gave me tons of insight. He also has an animated video series online that simplify his strategies for the busy professional, and it's great if you are a visual or audio learner. Truth, more precisely an accurate understanding of reality, is the essential foundation for producing good outcomes. Voge. Nick directs the McGraw Center's learning programs, including the undergraduate learning program and the graduate learning program at Princeton University. Adopting a socio-cognitive approach informed by self-worth theory and positive psychology, Nick explores the ways students engage with the college experience and how to meet their expectations. Recognizing the variety and complexity of learning demands students encounter in various disciplines, Nick focuses on helping students transition into college and to be successful. He recently co-authored Life Beyond Grades, Designing College Courses to Promote Intrinsic Motivation. Our worth derives from our human qualities of kindness, thoughtfulness, and our vulnerabilities. This quote in his TEDx presentation, Self-Worth Theory, the Key to Understanding and Overcoming Procrastination, was mind-blowing to me. He explained so well why procrastination is common with ambitious achievers. His quote is a great reminder that our most important value doesn't come from checklists, emails, or calendars. It comes from our humanity to connect with each other. Nelson Mandela. I honestly can't speak on his time management skills, but I know he has overcome great adversity as a leader. He was a social rights activist, politician, and philanthropist who became South Africa's first Black president from 1994 to 1999. Nelson Mandela showed heroism through his selfless and dedicated acts by fighting to bring liberty and justice for his people and risking his life for the equality of all. Mandela was the first president of South Africa who fought daily to bring liberty and justice to his people. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. I chose to share this with you because it's a powerful reminder to focus on the positive goals and inspire your progress without your fears jeopardizing a better future. When you are optimizing your time, it's no place for your fears to set you up for failure. James Clear. He's the author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Atomic Habits, which has sold more than 5 million copies worldwide. Worldwide. His work has appeared in Entrepreneur Magazine, Time Magazine, The Wall Street Journal, and on CBS This Morning. His book has helped many people understand how to eliminate bad habits and trigger healthy habits in their life. When you understand how your brain influences your behavior, you can put atomic or small strategies in place to achieve anything. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. I added him here because he is one of the masters of this game. You can't expect to call yourself knowledgeable in this subject without knowing his name. Since we are talking about masters of the time game, you should know Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss has been listed as one of the Fast Company's most innovative business people and one of Fortune's 40 under 40. He is an early stage technology investor advisor and the author of 5 #1 New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestsellers, including The 4-Hour Workweek and Tools of Titans, The Tactics, Routines, and Habits of Billionaires, Icons, and World-Class Performers. The Observer and other media have called Tim the Oprah of audio due to the influence of the Tim Ferriss Show podcast, which is the first business interview podcast to exceed 100 million downloads. It has now exceeded 700 million downloads. Focus on being productive instead of being busy. This quote rolls through my mind on numerous occasions as I was building my skills. Busy gets you nowhere. Productivity gets you everywhere. It's not about looking busy, it's about getting things done. Now that we have talked about what other people default to with their time, the root issues they struggle with, and a few inspiring quotes from the masters. Let's cover the foundational mindsets so you are set up for success. I will cover these briefly as a reminder, so as you try new things and experiment, gather data, and make decisions for new systems for your time, you know how to handle it when it becomes challenging. Patience, consistency, and commitment are the key. When you are triggering a new habit over and over, it's going to be rocky in the beginning. It's not about perfection, it's about aligning yourself to something new. So you can expect to mess up here and there. It's okay. Just get back on track and move forward. And nothing will improve if you truly don't make the decision to do it. So you can declare the change you are striving for and the new identity that you are designing. I'll give you an example. I wanted to get healthier, and after some research, I determined that swimming laps was a really great way for me to do that, and it was my desire. So I told myself, this is who I am now. I am a lap swimmer, and lap swimmers swim laps. So whenever I don't feel like doing it, I have decided I will immediately say out loud, I am a lap swimmer. Lap swimmers swim laps. So I'm going to swim today. And then I get my butt in the car and drive to the gym pool because that's who I am now. A few more I want to mention: curiosity, optimism, and compassion. To try new things, you need to be curious. You don't always know what's going to come from trying something new. It could be a flop, or it could be the best thing you have ever tried. Being optimistic toward good outcomes is complementary to being open to new things. If you are negative all the time, most of your experiments never get off the ground. If you are someone who is great at starting things but not at finishing them, you might want to pay close attention to that last suggestion. Also, be compassionate toward yourself because growing in any skill takes time and effort. An optimistic attitude is super important. It's the glue that holds it all together. So that's the foundation for managing your time. That's it. No need to complicate it with fancy bells and whistles. If you don't know me in person, then let me tell you, I love simplifying large topics for you to get a great overview. But most of the fun is going even deeper so that I can bring you solutions. I want to save you the time scouring the internet to find what works and what doesn't. Of course, everyone is different, so I hope you consider these strategies, try everything once, and make up your own mind what works for you. But there are some basics that are proven to be useful. Some that are challenging to stay consistent, but will uplevel your game, and some that are just taking it to a nerdy ninja level. I'm going to quickly show you all of it. The best of what I found, tried, and determined to be worth your time right now. So if you are just getting started, we already talked about 1, do a time audit to gather data. 2, create and manage a to-do list every day. A record of your to-do list will also give you data to what's easy and challenging for you to complete. These next tips are the basics, and they're going to help a beginner to get started. So say no more often. Don't be afraid to use technology to help. Prevent fires from starting and rethink how you look at time. The most important one is rethinking your view on how to handle stress, the awareness of how you make decisions, waiting time, and how you're using that to be prepared, and automations, or how I like to think of it, predetermined decisions or steps on how to handle a certain scenario or task. These are all major game changers. The next phase is what I like to call the adulting phase, which is a little joke to myself as I was developing some gaps in my time management. I felt like I was working on skills I have really wanted to develop or try, but have been too busy or intimidated. I think part of myself wanted to keep the easy life of immaturity rather than taking some responsibility. But it wasn't as difficult as I brainwashed myself to believe prior to getting serious about it. It actually became a fun way to regulate myself. It actually it became a way to tailor some of these strategies to my personality and what I enjoyed doing, which made it really fun. This stage is about altering your behavior for what works for you to get your animal brain and body to actually perform the work. You have to become your own parent, and suddenly all those arguments with your parents suddenly make sense and why they made you do all those things. Since I go more in depth with these on part 2, go ahead and pause this video. Take a look at each one. You will be training yourself, recovering your energy, hacking your unique situations, and using that data from the previous stage. The last stage is more for becoming a master at your time. These are the ninja tips to take it further than most professionals or super serious entrepreneurs. In the last stage, I introduced how important recovery is to your productivity. And here, you really use it to supercharge your results. You start recharging your batteries strategically, maximizing your dopamine release, seeking support from other masters, and taking control over your time intentionally. When you become a time ninja, you start optimizing long term, anticipating consequences, mind mapping your ideas, and tackling projects that scare you for the fun of doing it. Your life not only becomes smooth, but you learn about yourself on a deeper level to anticipate your weaknesses and use your strengths to maximize results. We will take a closer look at each of the ways you can use these ninja tips to do it and combat the common downfalls we are all at risk to experience. We will discuss punctuality, hurry sickness, getting better quality work out of yourself, how to create goals, procrastination, distractions, multitasking, burning out, breaking habits, and the numerous apps and tools that can help you to organize it all. When you are ready for a closer look, meet me for part 2. Until then, start with the basics, enhance your results with healthy mindsets, and don't follow the crowd by not having a system.